Hello, everybody, and welcome into the North Carolina Girls All-Star Private School game here live on Bahakel Sports. It's the East versus the West in this 2025 matchup. The top 24 players across the state coming onto the floor at the Mosack Athletic Center. Big shout out to Providence Day School and Josh Springer, the girls coach of the Chargers, for hosting such a solid event. This has been going over the last 12 years, and multiple players who are making their debuts on the floor in this all-star game are commits to various schools across the state and across the country. But taking a closer look at one of those commits is Providence Day standout Ellie Fyans, a senior center who committed to Western Carolina. She will go and be a member of the Catamount, stands at 6'5" and is a crucial player for the Chargers. Is one of 12 players on this North Carolina Girls West All-Stars team that is led by Coach Ray Edmond, originally posting up from the Asheville School. And taking a closer look at the East All-Stars, they'll be dressed in all navy blues, is Kylie Good. She just recently committed to Lewisburg College and represents the Trinity Christian Crusaders. In addition to her, is another standout for this squad is Issa Roman. She'll go represent the Mountaineers next season as she will make her way out to Boone at Appalachian State University, and she comes by way of the Grace Christian Chargers. The East All-Stars led by head coach Tamira Thorpe. The leader of the pack for the Greensboro Day School. Her assistants Tony Thorpe, Rashida Jameson, and Kristen Hitchcock all on the bench for them, as everybody is welcomed out thus far. And on the last for the bench is Kylie Good, as mentioned. Was undecided as of this week, but has just recently committed to Lewisburg. Again, multiple players across different levels of play, ranging from Division III all the way up to Division I, making appearances within such conferences like the Sun Belt and the Southern Conference. This has been going on for the last 12 years, and at noon today, this is the first game of two, the second one tipping off at around 2 o'clock. The boys will then make their appearance out onto the floor, but overall, over 40 of the best players in the state for the private school all-star games in North Carolina. High school sports being such an influential part of growing up and really figuring out how things go. Still getting welcomes in underway. Tony Thorpe making his way out onto the floor, in addition to Rashida Jameson and Kristen Hitchcock, all representing Greensboro Day. They'll be led by head coach Tamira Thorpe. She was a graduate of Greensboro Day School back in 2015 and held a number and broke a number of records for the school, some including but not limited to total points, most points in a game, free goals made in a game, and so many more. She was named a McDonald's All-American nominee. It was also a nominee for Gatorade Player of the Year. She ended up committing to USC Upstate and represented the Spartans for 3 seasons, and then for her senior season, she transferred to North Georgia, where she averaged 15 points and 6 rebounds, and then decided to start her coaching journey. Now welcoming out the West All-Stars, Jayla Fries won the NCISAA state champions last season with Rayburn Gap Eagles. Following her, Sophia Ponce and Rosalind Sanchez. Brittany Nolan representing the Chargers. She is one of 4 on this team, one of 5 on this West All-Stars team representing Providence Day, so the home crowd ringing true. Zoe Ulrich, another undecided players, but Marlo Stewart making her way out onto the floor. The thing about Marlo is that she also plays field hockey in lacrosse, and she's a college commit, but not for basketball. She's committed to Tufts for lacrosse. She's got a plethora of activities, including as a volunteer in the Special Olympics. Sarah Larios, a commit to Lenore Ryan, representing the Asheville Christian Lions, is a senior guard who posted 44 points off of 11 three-pointers through 3 quarters of play earlier in the month of February. Emmy Moore, an Emmanuel University commit, representing the Eagles as well. It's Margaret Blythe next up on the roster, sitting at 5'7", representing Charlotte Country Day Buccaneers. And then the rest of this lineup for the West All-Stars are all Chargers. Katie Dennison, a senior guard who has yet to decide where she wants to go to school. Following her is Audrey Glosson, another solid player for this Charger squad. And rounding out the 12 All-Stars for the West is none other than Fian. She committed back in September, and she is that center strongman for the Chargers. The West are coached by Ray Edmond, who started coaching at Southern Guilford High School back in 2011 after playing 4 years at Guilford College representing the Quakers, and took them ever to their first conference championship and 2 NCAA tournament berths as a player. He's assisted by Mike Watkins and Michael Hayward at the Asheville School, so his regular coaching staff with him alongside the baselines today. But everybody's all smiles, and that's the thing about having an all-star game, right, is there's lots of different faces to be had, and old players that you've played in club teams with and summer ball, travel, but nonetheless coming together to put on a show for the fans here today. But it's a busy one at Providence Day. Lots of action to be had. The field behind us filled with the stands of parents supporting players as there's soccer going on throughout the day. A busy day here in Charlotte. It's a beautiful one. 65 and sunny. Couldn't ask for anything better to get the month of March started as the madness is about to begin, but nonetheless, the best of the best here at Providence Day. Quick welcome in for all of our referees on the floor today. Everybody's all smiles, and that's another beautiful thing about this, is that there's no sweat to be had. But the setup going into these games is that there will be 10-minute quarters, a couple of minutes in between for a break or two, and then a 10-minute halftime, and then that's the conclusion of it. 4 quarters all the way through, 10 minutes apiece. Lots of different rotations to be had, but nonetheless a lot still riding on the line. West versus East. It's a rivalry for a reason and representing the region that you so come from. As Coach Edmond starts to draw up his first play coming out of the tip-off. The East congregating together. It's about playing as one, even if you don't know necessarily who you're taking the passes from or to, but communicating and working through things, and most importantly, setting up your team for success as everybody starts to step out on the floor. Fian's in the middle for the tip. She'll be matched up with Liz Wyrick. Wyrick, a Randolph-Macon commit, representing the Greensboro Day Bengals. Sound of the whistle. Couple of moves here and there as Anna Moss gets into position. The tip is good, and we are underway. East wins the tip in the first play. It's moving. It's Issa Roman on the outside. Quick pass out to the top of the perimeter. Rangs off. Solid shot taken, but no good by Moss. Sarah Larios in the charge. She drives up the paint, takes 2 steps, uses the back of the glass, puts the first points up the board. Sarah Larios, known for being an effective shooter outside of the arc, getting things going early on. It's Roman, takes a long shot from out 3. She makes the first 3-point of the day. The future Mountaineer getting things going. As East with an early lead, slowing things down Outside, quick pass out to Glosson. Couple of passes back and forth. Larios pulls the trigger from outside to get things going. Rattles off the far left side. Shy Williams with the rebound, and Roman with the floater. She battles through some traffic. Roman with the first 2 buckets. And she's a hooper, standing at 5'7". Pull late trigger from outside. That was by Emmy Moore. Offensive rebound by Ponce. Larios with a pass that was intended to be inside, but it was Wyrick on the steal. Right back to Roman. Roman with a cross-court pass to Moss. Moss pulls the trigger and fires. 8-2 lead, in part to finding the space early and effectively for this East All-Stars team. Inside of the corner, looking for options is Morris. She passes it inside to Fians. Fians looks to body it. Sound of the whistle. It's an offensive foul. Bucket is no good. Solid work by Wyrick to draw it. Long pass out to the near side corner. Roman right back at it. Quick kick out to Williams for the jumper. No good. Ponce on the move and the rebound. She takes it down the lane. 1-2 step, uses the back of the glass. A necessary bucket put up and in by Ponce. Last week she finished with 9 points for the 1A title. Roman gets blocked in the shot underneath. A little low, but nonetheless, it's Ponce on the move. Can she do it again? Puts it back up way over the outside. And a fight underneath the basket as it falls out of play. But Ponce doing the most, going from coast to coast, not once but twice. Puts up a necessary bucket to slice the score in half for the West. As Larios with the inbound. Sound of the whistle for the 5-second call. What great pressure the East applied with that inbound pass. Again, a challenge of playing in some of these all-star games is getting to know your teammates and what their ticks are and what you need to do to keep moving. But Roman with the inbound. She's at midcourt, drives inside the paint. Low bounce pass to Williams. It's up and in. An easy jumper to make this a 10-4 lead. It's Larios onto the outside of the arc. Still looking for options to pass around. She's got Sanchez right next to her. Ponce pulls up. Rattles off the back of the rim. And East drives up in the middle of the court. Quick pass up and inside. Draws the foul. Good old three-point old-fashioned play. It's Wyrick. He takes the bucket. A solid pass. Up and in by Wyrick, who's also representing Greensboro Day. She'll take the first trip to the free throw line of the afternoon. Hits the back of the glass. Ponce on the recovery. Quick pass over to Larios. Larios drives inside the paint. Tosses it up, but no good. Williams with the rebound. Roman kicks out to Wyrick. Wyrick from outside hits the front of the rim. Williams on the recovery. She forces it up. She's still on the floor fighting for it. Solid recovery on the back. She's got it in. Anna Moss keeping this three-point streak alive for the East. 15-4 lead. Just about halfway through in this first quarter. A long three-point taken by Larios. It rattles off the back. Larios is trying to get something to go. Roman pulls up from long. Hit the front of the rim and fell into the paws of Fians. The West starting to swing things around a little bit. Fians, 2 dribbles and a put up. Can't get a hand on the ball, but tosses it right in Wyrick's direction. Long toss over into the far left corner. Hits the front of the rim. A solid look, though. From coast to coast. Low bounce pass underneath. Moore pulls up. She's got it. Moore with a necessary bucket to keep things within reach for this West team. Just an easy layup for Roman. Roman this season was named a captain for the Chargers at Grace Christian. It's a 10-point lead for the East as everybody's looking to get subbed out for this West team in addition to the East. So another set of new players for everybody to get familiar with. Ponce was getting a little bit rattled on the double team, and the sound of the whistle will take us to our first media break and timeout on the floor. It's a 17-7 lead in favor of the East. We'll step aside here from Providence Day. It's a 10-point lead for the East as the West breaks their huddle, and they'll start with the inbound for the second quarter. Roman has been the name of the game for this early lead for the East. The low bounce pass outside, kick out to the left side corner. Bounces off the front of the rim. It's an offensive board. Fries right out to Sanchez on the outside. Sanchez breaks the scoring drought for the West, and what a start off for this second quarter. Sanchez, an undecided player, finished with 16 points, 4 assists, and 3 steals in the 1A championship game. And the West are just playing so aggressive as Good gets the ball stripped. Thompson with some key defense. Sanchez kicks right back out to Stewart. Some active passing around the perimeter. Sanchez drives it inside. She's got the floater. Back-to-back buckets for Rosalind Sanchez, representing Victory Christian Kings. It's a travel by the East. Have not been able to put up an effective possession since the start of the second frame, since the start for the remainder of this first quarter. .313 remaining. Quick pass inside by Sanchez to Nolan. Nolan's ball stolen away. She dives right for it. Was looking for a quick pass to Fries. Keep the ball moving, but back-to-back turnovers. None of which with the possession. Still 5 points between these two. West is on the move. Samantha Collins at the top of the key. Quick pass low to Good. Good can't put it up. Rebound stripped away, and it's Marlo Stewart on the move. Stewart, the Tufts commit for lacrosse, with a quick pass out to Margaret Blythe. And another travel, this time by Nolan, underneath the basket. Shaking off a little bit of the nerves. See Coach Edmond giving a few words of advice to Nolan to shake it off and keep moving forward, as it's Alyssa Phillips driving across midcourt. She pulls up from the floater, tries to use the back of the glass. Good, using her height to her advantage to get an extra hand on it. Again, can't put the bucket down as a couple of bodies hit the floor. Good, standing at 6'2", is really solid in being such a force to grab some of those extra boards off the glass. Quick inbound to Sanchez as she drives up the right side of the baseline. Working from left to right. Drives inside the paint. Low bounce pass over to Froz. She wanted to pull but didn't go for it. Sanchez talking things over. 2 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Still a 5-point lead for the East, in part to Roman pulling up from outside early and effectively. Froz working things around. She's double teamed. It's Holly right in her face. Underneath and low. Nolan took a shot at it, couldn't get it to fall. It was wayside to the left of the hoop. Phillips on the move, quick pass out. Williams underneath, low, good. Gets a basket. East with the necessary bucket as they've gone cold since all of the subs made their way into the floor. An open three, nobody's business besides Blythe. Blythe slowly starting to close this gap, and now it's 2 buckets between the two. A little bit of communication by Phillips on the NCISAA logo. They move, the screen starts. Thompson pulls up. East continues to be a beast outside of the arc. Stewart playing with a little bit of aggression. Froz out to Nolan. Nolan for the jumper. Good, got a hand on it, and it falls out of play. Making their way out onto the floor is Keaton Reichard. Along with Shy Williams stepping out onto the hardwood. 42 seconds remain in this first quarter. Candace Williams with the inbound with a quick pass over to Rickard. Pulls up from outside, can't get it to fall. Offensive board for the East. 1-2 step, can't get the backboard to be in their advantage. Phillips on the move with that one. Back-to-back offensive boards. East looking to get something going. Thompson again can't get it to pull. Third missed shot in a row for the East. It's Holly, this time from the near side corner, short. Underneath the basket is Ulrich. Sanchez with some tough defense by Williams. In the steal from the long pass. Tough play by Phillips, who gets bodied underneath. Little bit of a sandwich right there. Thompson standing tall though. And a pull up from outside. She's got it to fall at the buzzer. What a moment for Chloe Thompson. The Winston-Salem State commit continues the lead 22-15 going into the second quarter of play here from Providence Day School. It's a 10-point lead for the East going into the second frame of play from Providence Day School inside of the Mosack Center. East has been so effective from being quickly finding some pace outside as it's a 1-2 step. And Larios puts up the first points of this second quarter. One-two step by none other than the East drawing the shooting foul. It's Roman underneath. She's so solid in being able to find her lane, take a 1-2 step and draw the foul. In addition to being so effective from outside, puts her first move from the charity stripe up and in. Makes both, and now it's back to a 10-point lead for the East. Quick movement across midcourt by Blythe. Inside pass that was targeting Fians. Falls out of play. Fians with her second foul of the game. Called for it. East with the dribble. Roman. Long pass out to the far left corner. Goes into the stands. Everybody's bracing, and rightfully so. Rickard couldn't get a hand on it. Unnecessary turnover by Roman, but she was playing a little aggressive, and rightfully so. When you have a 10-point lead, you can get a little crafty. Larios on the outside. Quick pass out to Fians. Again, lots of ball movement for this West All-Stars team. Couple of dribbles low and inside. Blythe takes the shot. Ball gets poked out, and she'll take a trip to the free throw line for her first appearance of the afternoon. Margaret Blythe, standing at 5'7", representing the Buccaneers of Charlotte Country Day. Her first rattles off the back of the rim. Still a 10-point lead for the East, in part to Thompson playing super aggressive as well. Blythe with her second, no good. She goes 0 for 2. However, Fians is there to rescue it. Offensive rebound as she was able to get low and underneath and use the glass to her advantage. 27-19, the deficit, and the bucket is up and in by Phillips. Let's get another look at that. Roman underneath the glass. So effective in moving. She's quick on her feet and has a great floor vision in finding space to draw the foul. She makes her multiple appearance at the line, and the three-point play is good. 30-19, it's been all East thus far. About 8:33 remaining. Pass intercepted. It's Rickard on the move. She can't get it to fall. A couple sounds of the whistles as Roman sets up for the inbound. 24 players across this North Carolina private school all-star game. The best 24 players within the state's been going on for 12 years or so. Everybody taking the trip out to Charlotte to have a little bit of fun. So there was a foul on at the inbound, and this time it's West ball, and it's Ulrich to restart play. Larios one-on-one with a matchup against Phillips. Both teams only got to practice as of yesterday, so still getting familiar with one another as that pass sails long and out of play. Phillips with the inbound to none other than Roman. Roman making her mark in this all-star game. Someone to watch out for as the floater's no good from inside of the paint. Pull up from 3 by Blythe. It drops. West girls hanging around. 30-22 lead for East, but back underneath that 10-point gap. It's a missed bucket is an opportunity for Ulrich. Long pass outside. Ponce takes a few steps, and underneath the basket is none other than Fians. Back-to-back buckets for the West, and they're within 6. Pull up from outside, rattles off the back of the glass. It's a good thought, but couldn't necessarily get it to drop, and everybody subs in and out. Fresh legs on the deck for either team. Players including Stewart, Sanchez, representing the West in some of those subs. Meanwhile, for the East, Williams, Samantha Collins, and company. It's Chloe Thompson outside of the arc. She looks for an option, almost poked out. Now it's Shy Williams directing traffic. Kick out to the left side corner, a couple of touches here and there. Chloe Thompson right back at it with the ball. Quick screen in the inside, good with a low bounce pass over. That's teamwork right there. Shy Williams finds good underneath the basket. Froz is just bodied up in that far left corner by Shy. Nolan was able to get her hands on the ball but couldn't get it to drop. Still 32-24 in favor of the East with just about 6 minutes remaining in this first half. Pulling up from outside, Collins can't fire the trigger. Underneath the basket is Williams. It's a long and friendly bounce into the hoop. Great effort by Shy Williams, who is representing the Durham Academy Cavaliers all the way from the other corner of the state. Long pull-up by Stewart, no good. Now it's Shy Williams once again. She's just driving the conversation as she finds her mojo. Gets bodied up one-on-one with Stewart. And a couple of subs make their way out onto the floor. It's Froz who steps out, and in her place is Emmy Moore, a commit to Emmanuel University. Shy Williams right back at it. She's finding her groove, is good. Couldn't keep her hands on the ball. Quick interception by Moore, and she's charging down the court. Draws the foul one-on-one with Williams. Any effort towards the basket for Moore is a good one. Chloe Thompson will be awarded the foul underneath. She represents the Cannon School Cougars. Her first is good. Moore, also a part of the Rabun Gap Eagles squad. She's alongside teammate Jayla Froz. And the East are right back at it. Collins underneath the basket. It's whisked away by Sanchez. Sanchez taking it up the far left baseline. Long pass over to Stewart. She drives outside. Low bounce pass underneath to Dennison. It's Nolan underneath. She pulls up from inside. Can't get the friendly bounce, and it pops off the front of the rim. 34-25 in favor of the East. It's Chloe Thompson communicating out to her team. As Good starts to draw the screen. She's got the bucket. Can't get it to fall. It was a little short, but nonetheless solid placement. Sanchez on the move. Long pass out to Dennison. Can't get the jumper. Spin move drops by Thompson. Chloe Thompson, the commit to Winston-Salem State. Pulled something from NBA 2K on that. Sanchez desperate for a bucket, takes it underneath the rim herself. And an aggressive style of play by Stewart, who gets the jump ball called, but East retains the possession. And that'll take us to our media break, 36-25 in favor of the East, and that's exactly the way this first half has gone. Stick with us for the remainder of the second quarter. The East has been so dominant on the floor this entire first half. They got going early from outside of the perimeter. In addition to some of the big playmakers for them is Roman, Thompson, and Shy Williams underneath, all of which have been such solid leaders and playmakers for this East All-Star squad. They've got the lead with 36-25 going into the remainder of this first half. First bucket up and in for Shy, representing the Cavaliers of the Durham Academy. Her second. Bounces off the front of the rim and back. An intentional pass to Larios. Two Fians underneath, as Fians had just a little too much of a hand on it, and that falls wayside. It's on the move, a quick pull-up from outside by Thompson. She can't get it to fall. Fians on the recovery. Ponce moves 1-2 step, uses the back of the glass. She puts it up and in. Ponce last week finished with 9 points for the 1A title and has also made an appearance with the FIBA Centro basket in the U17 championship qualifiers. Williams has the ball stripped away from her, and Ponce is right back at it. Quick pass low and inside the paint. Blythe wants the shooting foul, but she gets a second chance at it. Makes the most of it, is underneath, is Fians. Chloe Thompson slowing things down. She's really been the guardian of traffic for this East All-Stars team. As a quick draw of the foul sends her to the line as the East find themselves in the bonus. Sarah Larios awarded the foul. Thompson with a few dribbles. She is a Winston-Salem State commit. Pulls up for her first. It's in. She's the only one to remain out on the floor as the East makes all of their subs in. In addition to Liz Wyrick, Candace Williams, Keaton Rickard, and Taylor Hawley are back out on the floor representing the East. Her second no good. Chloe Thompson got a little excited on that one as she subbed in. Everybody's all smiles and getting to know their teammates as a little bit of bench movement here and there. Ponce on the foul, can't get the hands in as Rickard. They'll call that a double dribble. Back-to-back mistakes as things are starting to wind down in this first half. East has had a commanding lead this entire time. It's Larios with the low bounce pass inside to Fians. Fians standing at 6'5", uses her height to her advantage in that center position. A little bit of a scrum on the far left side of the court. Sends Keaton Rickard to the line for a 1-and-1. Rickard, representing the North Raleigh Christian Knights, makes her first. Stands at 5'5" and is another one of those undecided players. So another opportunity for this all-star game is for these players who have yet to try and find a new place to call home in their collegiate careers. As the pull-up from Moore falls long, is the ability to grab extra tape and throw it on all of those recruiting portals so coaches can really see how they play against some of the top talent. Not to say that mid-season opponents don't give them tough battles, but really how it takes to be in a team setting when you don't know who's on your side. As it's a quick steal by Larios at midcourt. She dribbles down, up and in, looks for the shot, and on the rebound is Ponce. Ponce is right there to put it up and in. 40-31 as West is within 9. West still coming from behind and have been able to string a couple of buckets here and there. Rickard swings around underneath the paint. Low kick out to the outside corner to Phillips. Phillips out to Holly on the outside. That rattles out. Larios with the pull-up three. Swish! Within 6 and led by none other than Sarah Larios, the Lenore Rhine commit. 1-2 step by Candace Williams inside. Liz Wyrick fighting for it. She's able to make the most of it. Second chance points have been the name of the game for this North Carolina Girls East All-Stars team. As the lead is back at 8 for the East. Larios steps outside. She looked for a quick pass underneath the bucket to Ponce, and it's whisked away. Sound of the whistle. Rickard, last person to have the ball. They'll call that against Larios as well. Rickard falls short of her first attempt, and Larios is subbed out. That was her third personal foul, and out in her place is Rosalind Sanchez. Her second swings out too, as a couple of extra hands were a part of that, and they'll call that West ball. Couple of passes inside and a shove up towards the basket by Holly. Goes in the opposite direction. Sanchez with the rebound. Quick kick out to Moore. Moore pulls up from outside. Williams recovers inside of the paint. She drives inside the lane. Low bounce pass underneath to Phillips. Fians with the board. Still a 8-point lead in favor of the East, but West has started to lock down on defense a little bit here late in this second quarter. 34 seconds remain in the first half of play, and it's been all East thus far. Sanchez kicks out to Fians. And what was an intended pass to Ponce just gets away from her. Candace Williams drives across the court. 1-2, up and in. Candace Williams, the Barton College Bulldog, with a bucket to make this a 10-point lead with only a couple of seconds remaining. Candace Williams with a shove and a heave outside of the arc, and that'll do it for the first half of play. 44-34 the score going into halftime. It's been all East, in part to Roman and company from being able to be effective outside of the arc. This is Bahakel Sports with the North Carolina Private School All-Star Games. It's halftime from the Mosack Athletic Center on the campus of Providence Day School, where the North Carolina All-Star Games for the private schools in this state showcase some of the best of the best. And so far for this girls' game, it's been all East, a 44-34 score at the midway point. And for the East, they've been able to pull up early and effectively. On Bahakel Sports, this is first game of two. The second one will be for the boys All-Star game, tipping off at 2 p.m. shortly at the conclusion of this one. Some of the top players in the state of North Carolina showcasing why they are at the top of the standings in the Old State. You're watching on Bahakel Sports, the North Carolina Private School All-Star Games. East has been a beast as they have a 10-point lead over the West in the North Carolina Private School All-Star Games. First game of 2 is the girls, and the East has been so effective in making their baskets from outside of the arc, and leading the charge early on in that first quarter was Issa Roman, the Appalachian State commit, representing the Grace Christian Chargers. She's also been really effective in passing. Lots of those early buckets made from key players such as Anna Moss and Roman, but once the West got things going and a couple of subs made their way onto the floor, Shy Williams took control of the narrative. But the West has been able to crawl underneath and get some things going, in part to players such as Emmy Moore and company. Effective ball movement has been the name of the game for the West, but nonetheless, Williams doing the most as she got tripped up but was able to pull up from outside of the arc, and the West hanging in there. Also Margaret Blythe making some noise as well, but they've been playing come from behind basketball this entire first half, and Pons doing the most. In addition to all of those, she was able to drive inside the lane as of late, and even though there is a 10-point lead, there is a close gap between the two. At one point, there was only 2 buckets between these two teams, so it is still a game for the best of the best. Coming at you from Providence Day School, it's Bahakel Sports presenting the North Carolina Private School All-Star Games for 2025. Just about to get underway here going into the third quarter of play. The West still down by 10, wanting to have a better start to the second half, but preventing players such as Issa Roman, who posted up 12 points in the first half of play for the East, and she got going early on, is really the name of the game. She's been able to find floor space pretty quickly from outside, and she's also driving the conversation with long outside passes to players such as Anna Moss. She's got 4 points. But for the West, again, they're wanting to get things going, playing from behind, and that's somewhat of the key in these all-star games. You might have the best of the best alongside you, but nonetheless, it's getting to know players that aren't necessarily coming from the schools that you're representing. So new teammates out on the floor with new habits to get accustomed to, and that's somewhat of the challenge. But nonetheless, it's a fun game today. Just here to have a good time. Reminder that all quarters are 10 minutes. with a 10-minute halftime as we are just about winding down. Margaret Blythe, one of the standout leaders for this West squad, but again, it's been a lot of action from the East as Chloe Thompson is the second highest scorer for the East All-Stars. She's got 9 points to her name through 2 frames. As everybody makes their way out onto the floor, as it'll be an inbound on the opposite side of the court, right at halftime, right at the midline. With the inbounds, it's Samantha Collins and company for the East, working from left to right this time. Roman, step back. Shot's a little short, but nonetheless, Kylie Goods underneath to make up for it. The Lewisburg College commit as of recent. And that's the beautiful thing about this All-Star game is you have players such as Roman who are going to take trips out to the Sun Belt and play Division I, but you have other players who are going to be making appearances within the ODAC at schools such as Randolph-Macon College and others. As that one falls. First bucket of the second half by none other than Marlo Stewart. It's in favor of the West. Can't get the ball under control. As Williams gives a little bit of emotion to settle things down, but Stewart getting hot early on. Halftime conversation works. That one over the opposite side of the basket. Roman, quick moves underneath the paint. She's got a couple of 1-2 steps. Gets pushed into the net. You can see that the boys are starting to warm up on the practice court just behind the main court. Sanchez at the top of the arc. Quick kick over to Stewart on the opposite side. She can't get that one to drop. 46-37 in favor of the East. Roman left wide open and underneath. Nothing but time on Taylor Hawley's side. Hawley, the UVA Wise commit, representing the Wesleyan Christian Trojans. All of the players seen throughout both games today are seniors, looking to continue their careers at the collegiate level in some capacity. It's Brittany Nolan underneath. She gets a hand on it. Tries to get the basket to drop. Rattles off the left side of the rim. On the move is the East. Up and in. What a solid effort. And that's Allie Cronin. She's a Colgate commit and represents the Ravenscroft Ravens, as that'll be the first signaled timeout for either team. And this time it's by the West. Coach Ray Edmond on your screen representing the Asheville school. He brings alongside his assistants, Mike Watkins and Michael Hayward, all of which assist him in his day-to-day operations in Asheville. Started his stint back with the Asheville school in 2020, where he was an assistant with the boys program and then took over the girls team in 2021. Has coached over 10 athletes who have been named all-conference players, 2 of which were player of the years. It's 50-37 in favor of the East. Sanchez with the inbound. Stewart outside. Driving inside the lane is Blythe. She can't get it to drop. Man, was that a good look. Good got tangled up a little bit. They'll call that foul against Blythe. First team foul of the half, her third overall. Roman is just a force to be reckoned with as it's a pull-up jumper from mid-court. Bounces off the back of the glass. Long three. Hits the front of the rim. Phillips on the move. Cross-court pass to fellow teammate that gets it to drop. It's Ellie Cronin who's starting to get hot. Haven't seen much action from her, so she's getting settled in. Stewart, low pass across the baseline, fake out move by Fries. That goes up and over the glass. Good underneath with a low pass to Williams. Shy Williams with a quick pass inbound. They get it to fall. Such a team effort by the East. Elisa Phillips draws the foul for a three-point opportunity. Was able to kick it up off the right side of the glass. One hand and 1 foot nonetheless. Elisa Phillips making her way over from Crossroads Christian. A couple of subs make their way out onto the floor. Ponce, Sanchez, and company all take their spot back out onto the hardwood. It's up and in for Phillips. 56-37. It's been all East, in part to Roman getting them fired up early. Sanchez gets low inside, draws the foul. What a body move. Sanchez with a necessary bucket, splits the pair. Sanchez last week finished with 16 points in the 1A championship game. So far through the first half of play, she posted up 5 points. Her free throw through. 56-40. Still a 16-point gap as Roman pulls the trigger outside. Good underneath the basket. She can't get any open pause, and Sanchez with the steal. Kicks it up over the rim. Just from behind basket shot. Trading missed possessions. Roman rattling it around. Quick kick outside. It drops. This time it's Cronin. Cronin with her second three-pointer of the day is starting to settle in. It's a 59-40 lead. The East just so dominant out on the floor. Quick jumper from Sanchez. It falls. It's been the Sanchez show so far in this second half. She's locked in her game. Roman with a pass out to Good. That was just a little too far for Good to get a hand on it, and that sails long. Everybody getting subbed out, and that's the beauty of this all-star game, is players getting multiple looks and playing time. Sanchez at half court. It's Emmy Moore on the floor. Quick pass over to Audrey Glosson. For the first time in a while, we've seen her. Good to see some fresh legs on the floor for the West, as it's a travel against Katie Dennison. She looked at the referee with a little bit of confusion. As that takes us to our media break. It's been all East, and it continues to do so. Stick with us for the remainder of the third quarter. 59-42. It's been all East in this North Carolina private schools all-star game. Claire Geary with you on the call. Fresh set of legs for either team as that ball gets bounced out of play by Candace Williams. She's a Barton College commit. As Rosalind Sanchez drives up midcourt, she kicks out to Emmy Moore. She pulls, can't get it to fall. Candace Williams with her quick feet. Long pass over, and that's a floater up and over the bucket for Thompson. All smiles nonetheless by Liz Wyrick, who is committed to Randolph-Macon and is representing the Greensboro Day Bengals. Sanchez drives up and inside the paint, draws the foul. She got double teamed with her quick look underneath the basket. Take a second look at it. It was Wyrick and Taylor Hawley underneath the hoop. Took a little bit of time to get that first one through, but she shakes it off, no sweat. Sanchez makes her first. Her second rattles off and out of play. Couple of extra hands on it, and they'll call that West ball. The last person to touch was Williams underneath the basket. And it's Audrey Glosson for the pass in. Glosson standing at 5'6", with a quick pass over to Sanchez. Sanchez deflects the steal. Right back to Moore. Moore drives inside. Left-hand shot. Can't get it fall. Gets her own rebound. That one works, though. 59-45. The West crawling in. Still 14 points between these two teams. Easy bucket for Wyrick. Nobody was underneath that basket to guard her, so she took her opportunity. Sanchez kicks out to Ponce, back and forth motion. Sanchez, money. Sanchez has been such a star for this West team and keeping them locked in. She's been doing the most and putting up a majority of the points in this second half as that shot goes long by Chloe Thompson. A couple of subs make their way back out onto the floor, including Sarah Larios, who ended that first half with 7 points, in addition to Ellie Fians, the Western Carolina commit. She'll represent the Catamounts next season. Larios with a quick pass out to Blythe. Blythe at midcourt. She drives inside the lane, gets it to fall. Had a little bit of an extra spin move on that, and it worked. Candace Williams drives up the court. She's bodied up against Blythe. Blythe and Fians wanted to strip things away. Fians a little bit confused, but they'll call this West ball. Effective, aggressive play for this West All-Stars team as they only find themselves within a couple of buckets and a scoring run to change things up. You can hear the bouncing in the background. The boys will shortly follow at the conclusion of this game. Again, 24 of the best players on the floor for this West All-Stars team. Sanchez with a short three-point opportunity. Stolen away by Pons. What a read. Quick, easy layup. Blythe not with the right hand placement, but nonetheless, Pons underneath the bucket. Those second chance points have been so crucial for either team, whether it be good underneath and pulling up from outside, it falls for Collins. Samantha Collins, the Washington and Lee commit, also from Greensboro Day. Fians underneath, couple of dribbles low. Shoots high. Kicks off the side of the rim. Just about 2 minutes remaining in this East-West matchup for the battle of the best. A little bit of confusion from Larios as the kick outside works. It's Margaret Blythe with a big bucket. 64-55, West within 9. The closest they've been in a short period of time, and Wyrick takes her shot from outside, can't get it to drop. Right back in the corner is Blythe. She drives inside, an intended pass for a teammate, gets intercepted by Holly. Holly to Rickert. And the East slowing things down. It's what Chloe Thompson knows how to do best, is be the communicator on the floor, but it's really tough when you have a 6'5" center right in front of you who's able to strip that one away. Larios from right to left, surveys the landscape and moves. Quick pass inside to Ponce. It wasn't pretty. The second opportunity bucket draws the foul by Fians as she takes a trip to the charity stripe. Ponce has had such solid looks underneath, and when you have a player such as Fians who sits underneath the basket to grab those boards, a little bit of extra movement from either team is easily drawing fouls as her first one goes right off the front of the rim. 64-55, the West within 9. Just about a minute and 3 remains in this third frame. Fians, one dribble, takes her time and again pops it off the front of the rim, but it's an offensive board. They'll call it a travel though. Ponce couldn't get her feet set, match it up with the sink of the dribble. Chloe Thompson once again directing traffic. She's been so crucial in the way that this East All-Stars team has operated. She takes a floater, falls a little bit short. It's Sanchez on the move. Quick pass load inside to Blythe. What a combo! Blythe and Sanchez have really been working in sync with one another as it's called timeout by Ray Edmond, potentially. Never mind, that's a change of possession. Such a solid move by Blythe. It's Ponce who's teamed up against Williams, and it's stripped away by Thompson. Thompson on the move, one-on-one, can't get it to fall, stripped away. Williams takes her try at it. Sounds of the whistle, 64-57. Lots of action underneath the basket. This East team fighting for every single point, and this time it's Candace Williams who takes a trip to the free throw line. Her first is up and in. (65-57), 66 now, 9-point lead for the East. They've been such a commanding team this entire time, but the West has been able to stay strong. Fians out in the far left corner. She twists around, takes her turn at a three. Ponce can't get the second opportunity to fall. On the move is Phillips with a one-handed shot at the sound of the buzzer. The East so dominant with a 66-57 lead. We go into the final frame of play here for Providence Day. And it's the final 10 minutes of play for the North Carolina Private Schools All-Star Games. The girls, this first game out of 2, as it's a quick pull-up 3 to get things going in the fourth quarter by Samantha Collins as it rattles off the front of the rim. But nonetheless, Kylie Good has just done so good on being that post player underneath the basket, getting easy buckets. High floater by Emmy Moore. Good again. Good is just so effective in being able to split her defenders and work her way underneath the paint and find an open shot. Nolan with a quick kick outside. Stewart can't get it to drop. The ball stays in play, but it's Phillips on the recovery. Rickard with a pass that was intended for fellow teammate Anna Moss as it falls out of play. An aggressive play by Stewart. Stewart, also a varsity athlete in field hockey and lacrosse, but lacrosse being her main sport, she's a commit to Tufts. Moore underneath, kick out to Fries. Fries drives inside the paint, rolls on the left side of the rim. Good with the rebound. From left to right for the East. The East has been so dominant. A pull-up 3 bounces off the rim for Moss. Trading missed buckets back and forth. Moore with the bounce pass over to Stewart. Nolan underneath. And the shake of the head by the referee in the direction of Good. Nolan one-on-one with Good is just a little too close for the pass. Nolan pull-up 3. Rattles off. Phillips, quick kick out to Rickard. Good underneath, shoves up towards the hoop. Nolan on the rebound. West still hanging around. Moore thought about it, didn't pull the trigger though. Moore right back at it. It was a quick low pass by Stewart, almost intercepted by some smart decision making on part of the East. And what a shove by Ulrich. Zoe Ulrich, representing the Raven Gap Eagles, stands at 5'9". And what a basket by Samantha Collins. She gets a little quiet, but once she fires off and finds the space at midcourt, she is a beast to be reckoned with. Pull-up 3 by Ulrich. Can't match it. Nolan on the recovery, though. She pulls up from mid-range. Collins on the move. Drives inside the paint, splits her defenders, and ball bounces out of play. Samantha Collins, a commit to Washington and Lee, will go join the ODAC play. She'll see players such as Liz Wyrick, as it's Collins who fires from outside. It bounces off the front of the rim, and a little bit of action underneath the hoop. Williams was in on it, so you can see Collins pulls up, it bounces off, but Nolan and Williams one-on-one with each other. And a quick inbound, but some action on the opposite side of the floor keeps this in the paws of the East. As it's Anna Moss with the inbound. Kick out to Rickard. Swings across the perimeter to Collins. Collins drives inside. Nolan with the block. That's all clean, and Stewart's on the move. Low bounce pass inside to Moore. She splits it, can't get it to drop. Phillips on the recovery as she straddles the line and gets forced out of play by an aggressive Stewart. Phillips has been so quick on her feet throughout this entire game, and you can see it in the effort that she's put in between Phillips and Chloe Thompson. The communication from those two is just so strong. Pull up three by Shy Williams, and she's not shy of having a good time. All smiles for the East as it's a 76-59 lead here in the final frame. Pass that goes a little awry. And Nolan was the last one with the touch. But regardless of what the score ends up being at the final moments of this game, the intention is to showcase some of the best athletes in the state within the private schools across North Carolina, and the top 24 players making their appearance. And what an effort by Phillips. She put her whole heart and soul into that as she hit the floor, but still made the bucket. Stewart draws the shooting foul underneath. Get tangled up a little bit. 78-59, just about a 20-point lead. Short of it for the East. The East bench having a little bit of some fun on the edge. The first up and in for Stewart. Stewart likes to volunteer and participate in things such as the Special Olympics, along with the Sustainability Club at Providence Day. One of 5 players representing the Chargers, and got to give a big shout out to coaches Josh Springer and Ron Johnson, the event coordinators, but more importantly, the lead for the boys and the girls programs for the Chargers. So everybody looks around wanting an explanation, and all eyes are on Blythe on the outside. Margaret Blythe stays out on the floor, but a couple of other subs make their way, and that's something that Coach Tamira Thorpe has used in her advantage, is really using the bench and keeping some fresh legs, as she's got a solid group of all-stars for the East. Fian corrals in a wild pass. Catches Ponce off guard. She wasn't ready for that pass in a 1-2 step. Can't get the bucket to fall, but Cronin with the move. Larios at midcourt, drives inside. And it's another foul called against Blythe. This time right in front of the near side referee. Her second. Been a clean game from Margaret so far. She's got the ball. Drives inside, kick out to the left side corner, finds Larios. Fian's underneath, hits the front of the rim and into the paws of Wyrick. Roman is back out onto the floor. Hawley to Roman. Roman pulls up from 3. Rattles off the left side, right into the hands of Cronin. Cronin with a second chance point, can't get it to drop. Fian's on the move. Sanchez slows things down with Ponce. Ponce out to Moore. Moore pulls up. She's got it. A necessary bucket for the West. Margaret Blythe puts us into our final media timeout in the fourth quarter. 78-63 in favor of the East. taking a good look at senior guard Rosalind Sanchez, who has just been such a force for this West All-Stars team in the second half of play. She's been making a majority of the buckets throughout both frames as we head into the final moments of this matchup between the East and the West in the North Carolina Private School All-Stars game. Pull-up three by Roman. It's on the outside. Defensive board for the West. Sanchez on the move, bodies up, draws the shooting foul as it goes up and over the back of the rim. Sanchez, like I mentioned, is so strategic in drawing those extra point opportunities and slows things down when she can take her trip to the free throw line. Has been effective in doing so and has come alive in the second half. First shot rolls out. As Fians is subbed out, and in place of her is Audrey Glosson, the two on the team for the Chargers. Sanchez with her second. It drops. 78-64 in favor of the East, and they kicked off things with a really hot start, in part to Roman and Moss coming alive outside of the arc. Underneath the basket, what solid ball movement. Wyrick with the easy bucket. And that's what I'm talking about here, is the East girls are so effective in their passing. And regardless if they've only seen each other a couple of times on the floor, they've been able to communicate in part to players such as Thompson, who has directed traffic for this East squad. Meanwhile, the West still trying to get their feet underneath them and making the most of some new teammates on the court. Glosson with a quick kick out to Larios as she finds gold. Larios with a necessary three-point shot that falls. Long cross-court pass, but again, it's Wyrick who's just sitting underneath the hoop, and no one's defending her, but when she does get defended, she draws the foul. Wyrick, the Randolph-Macon commit, looks for the and one. 82-67. As Cronin steps off the floor and Candace Williams is in her place. Wyrick can't make her free throw. And Ponce chases after it. West is on the move down court. It's all Blythe. She's surprised about the way that was called. Blythe staying out on the hardwood. And with the inbound is Larios. It's stolen away underneath and low. Couple of girls fighting for it. Roman was the last with the touch. And they'll call that jump ball in favor of the West. Long inbound pass, uses the backboard, but it ricochets into the paws of Chloe Thompson. Thompson kicks out to Roman on the outside. Roman slowing things down, moves Thompson into position. Thompson drives inside. She's on the outside, takes the floater, goes up and over. Wyrick on the recovery. She's blocked at the net by Ponce. Blythe on the move. Quick kick out to a corner three. It bounces off the rim. Ponce underneath for the offensive board. Shoves it up. Can't get it to drop either. Two missed opportunity buckets has kind of been the story of the game. Wyrick forces it up and in. She wins the body battle. Wyrick coming alive as of late with just about 2:40 remaining in this game. Corner three by Dennison. And the sound of the whistle. Dennison pulled up, and there was just a little too much action. Ponce got excited underneath, reaching for the rebound. It'll be an offensive foul for her as Candace Williams inbounds the ball to none other than Issa Roman. Roman ended the first half with 12 points, and she looked to add to her total. Again, Wyrick with a low bounce pass underneath. She is just so effective in doing so, and it's whisked away by Blythe on the steal. Blythe with a long toss up to Glosson. Everybody just trying to keep it in bounds, but to no avail. Got to recognize the hustle by Glosson. She tried to keep things moving. 84-67. As Larios steps off the court for the final time today. It's Roman taking it across midcourt. Again, the communication has been so effective for this team, and you can see it in the way that they set up the screen. It's an easy floater for Roman. No one else, really. She has an open lane. No traffic, no problem. 86-67 in favor of the East. Blythe tangled up in defensive coverage. Ponce on the outside. Lots of ball movement around, looking for that open player. Glosson had a solid look, but a quick coverage overall. Glosson on the move. The West desperate to try and get something going. Now it's Ulrich who's been able to make some noise as the ball gets stripped away from her. They'll call the last touch on the East. Zoe Ulrich representing the Rabun Gap Eagles. Just under 90 seconds remaining in this ball game. Kick out three. Ulrich can't get it to drop. Williams on the move. 1-2 step. Floater doesn't fall. Ulrich right back at it across midcourt. Blythe underneath. Long kick out to Glosson. And Ponce splits the defenders and draws the foul. 45.4 remaining in this matchup. Foul against Cronin, her fourth. Ponce misses her first. 86-67, but regardless of the score on the floor, NCISAA loves to hail the fact that they have strong sportsmanship with things such as integrity and fair play for everybody involved when it comes to a game day atmosphere. And all of these athletes competing at their finest. What a long shot taken by Thompson. Blythe desperate to get something going. Sanchez right out to Glosson. Rattles off the front of the rim as the sound of the whistle, and Glosson takes a trip to the free throw line. Audrey Glosson, 1 of 5 representing Providence Day. She stands at 5'6". Rattles off the first. Just about 20 seconds remaining in this matchup. 86-67 in favor of the East, and it's been all East since the first quarter of play. Second try, no good. Williams on the move, and these are just true athletes. Regardless of how much time is left on the floor, they're going to play to the last moments. 10 seconds remain. And with the inbound is Phillips. So at the conclusion of this game, the boys all-star game will get going around 2 o'clock or so. So tune back in on Bahakel Sports. And at the line is Elisa Phillips, representing Crossroads Christian. (86-67), and the East has just been so strong. The second, up and in. Make it an even 20-point lead with 10 seconds remaining. Ponce on the move, desperate for a basket. And a pull-up three at the buzzer by Glosson, bounces off and rattles out. 20-point difference for the final score, 87-67, as the North Carolina private school all-star games for the girls comes to a final score of 87-67 in favor of the East. Thanks for watching on Bahakel Sports. This has been a fun one. Tune in here just about 20 minutes or so with the boys up next at 2 p.m. tip-off. This has been Claire Geary with the NCISAA Girls All-Star Game, Private School All-Star Games presented by Providence Day School. This has been a presentation of Bahakel Sports. Thanks for watching. So long.